Mario Sunshine is a game that does a lot right, for sure. It's got a calming, gorgeous tropical aesthetic, a great soundtrack, some fun and inventive levels, and is all in all one of my most nostalgic games, period. It also just so happens to have some of the worst and most frustrating levels in any Mario game ever made. So since the game is back in the public consciousness thanks to the Mario 3D All-Stars collection, I thought it would be fun to list what I believe are the top 10 worst shines in Super Mario Sunshine. No real rules here. If it's a shine that the player has to collect to obtain 100% that isn't tied to blue coins, it can make the list. That said, let's go. Sunshine is a game that's kind of infamous for its recycled bosses. You fight Petey Piranha, Gooper Blooper, and the Gatekeeper Piranha Plants a combined 10 times throughout the game total. That said, I don't personally mind them too much, mainly because all of these are actually fun to fight, unlike a certain unique boss that's only fought once, the Manta Ray. Despite being a cool and seamless reference to The Shining, the fight is just annoying. The Manta Ray will split into smaller individual segments as it takes damage, eventually taking up a massive amount of stage real estate as you fight it. Whenever they hit you, you take damage and are flung in a fixed arc, which can lead to combos. Plus, each individual segment leaves a trail of electrified goop in its wake, which can make navigating the level for health a death sentence. While it's certainly not the most difficult shine in the game, I'd happily take a bunch of repeated bosses who were fun to fight over something as annoying as this. Red coin shines are kind of a mixed bag in Mario Sunshine as a collective. Some of them are among the most lax and chill shines in the game, allowing ample time for level exploration and blue coin hunting. Others are red coins on the water. This is a level that forces players to ride extremely fast bloopers across hazardous waters while collecting red coins under a specific time limit. This wouldn't be too bad, and the time limit itself isn't even too strict, but the main problem is the mechanics of the bloopers. They're fast and incredibly difficult to turn safely, and colliding with any obstacle will result in instant death. Not helping this is the fact that you can't dismount from them, which means that even after you earn all 8 red coins, you have to make a life or death jump for the shine sprite back at the docks where you started while still on the blooper. No wonder Mario spent so much of this game ripping the arms off these squids. Dude's got PTSD. Secret shines are another mixed bag. A lot of them are fun, simple, and straightforward platforming challenges, and others are exercises in frustration. The Secret of Rico Tower easily being the worst in my opinion. This level doesn't seem too bad on the surface, but when you take into account Mario Sunshine's general difficulty handling the concept of slopes, things quickly fall apart. Since most of this level is spent navigating sloped platforms, you'll spend a good chunk of it slip sliding all over the place and making jumps that have a 50-50% chance of killing you. Sometimes it'll seem like Mario can pretty much stand at a 90-degree angle, while others will be slipping off at the mere notion of a slightly curved surface. This level wouldn't be too bad if Mario Sunshine's physics engine handled sloped surfaces better, but for the time being, Mario Maker 2, this isn't. A level doesn't explicitly need to be difficult or rage-inducing to be bad. Sometimes it just needs to be obtuse or unintuitive. The mysterious Hotel Delfino is just that. This is a shine that requires you to follow a very specific and arbitrary secret path throughout Serena Beach's hotel in order to find Yoshi a specific fruit, then navigate another arbitrary path as Yoshi in order to get to where he needs to be. I feel like the big problem with this shine is a lack of clear communication that tells you what you're supposed to be doing. The Pianta guarding the room with the shine sprite in it tells you that you need proper swimwear in order to enter, which of course means finding a secret path in the hotel's attic, navigating a maze and eating a specific boot, and then ground pounding a specific floor tile to fall onto the shine. This isn't Sierra, guys, we're on Isle Delfino, not the moon. The 8th shine of any given stage is bound to be an exercise in frustration, but thankfully they're all optional since you only need to beat the first 7 missions of each stage in order to get to the final boss. That doesn't, however, give the developers a free pass to make a bunch of frustrating shines and plaster them at stage 8 of every level. Case in point, the Watermelon Festival. This is one of the most infamous shines in the game, and for good reason. The player has to escort a watermelon from the top of the level to the grinder at the opposite side while keeping it safe along the way. Between you are hazardous slopes, a ton of cataquacks who will instantly kill the watermelon if allowed, and a narrow bridge that you have to carefully navigate as to not drop the watermelon into the water below. Plus, the watermelon itself is incredibly fragile, popping like a balloon if someone even looks at it wrong. Have you guys ever seen a watermelon? Those things are tough. Nintendo did one of my favorite fruits dirty with this level. Another episode 8 shine that's sure to give you a hard time, this time being the roller coaster balloons. I actually quite like the roller coaster boss fight against Mecha Bowser considering how fun and chaotic it is, so naturally the best way to improve upon it for level 8 is to remove both of those aspects. The shine seeds the player needing to destroy 20 Bowser Jr. balloons within a certain time limit using rockets along the roller coaster's track. The problem is everything. Since the track you're on is fixed and has a time limit, you have an extremely limited amount of tries to hit your mark on the balloons, and the rockets spawning in certain places definitely compounds this. And as one last thing, you don't have a cursor to help you with aiming, so you're bound to overshoot or undershoot your shots until you can get your absolute bearings. I'm glad the Mario series improved its relationship with balloon-based challenges later down the line, because this level just doesn't cut it. Gelato Beach is an interesting level in Mario Sunshine in that it spends 3 of its 8 acts alluding to a specific level. You fight the Plungellos on the mirror in Act 2, which leads to the boss fight with Wiggler in Act 3, which is all paid off in Act 4. And what is your reward for paying attention to this ongoing story? Well, one of the most frustrating shines in the game for new players. The Sandbird is terrible for a first-time player, thrusting the player into an auto-scrolling red coin level that punishes you for jumping and especially for using the hover nozzle. If you're in the air for just a fraction too long, you're getting left behind and dying. Compounding this is the moment when the Sandbird turns, tilting on its axis and requiring the player to take refuge on one of its sides, which means the long-awaited return of slopes. And even if you survive all of this, the last red coin is hidden away on a nearby tower, requiring you keep an eye peeled on the left side of the Sandbird to make sure that you don't miss it. I appreciate Mario Sunshine trying to tell a cohesive story with its shines, and I've certainly come to grips with this level as I've gotten older. It's not nearly as hard as it was when I was a kid, but this still isn't a story that needed to be told. 3 words. Say it and she's yours. No, not those 3. The secret of the village Underside is an exercise in patience and anger management. Not only is actually getting to the shine a lengthy process, as it requires getting Yoshi fruit from the opposite side of the level as his egg and doing a series of tricky platforming, but the actual shine itself is almost completely removed from the idea of player skill. You spend the shine gauging distance between yourself and nearby platforms, talking to chucksters who then have to toss you to them. The big problem is how specific these guys are. If you're a pixel too far in either direction when you talk to them, they'll send you careening to your death. There's not much wiggle room, with nothing you can do about it. There's also the chuckster who's surrounded by ever-respawning stews, which can make lining up for a good throw difficult, and the one who stops just shy of his indicator line specifically to throw you off. This is a shine that shuns any semblance of the abilities that the players have learned up to this point in the game and replaces them with luck. Chuckster luck. Lucksters. I've deliberately avoided talking about the Delfino Plaza secret shines up to this point specifically because I knew they'd take the top spots, as our runner-up is the infamous Pachako Machine. This is probably the single most well-known and hated shine in the game, and for a good reason. Its physics are all kinds of whack, removing any sense of direct player control, it's glitchy as all hell, and it punishes the player for very simple and oftentimes unavoidable mistakes, and it's just infuriating. So you may be wondering, why is it only number 2? Well, because for all of its trappings, it's at least relatively simple and easy to get to, unlike our number 1. The Lilypad Shine. This is it, the cream of the crap, the worst shine in the game. The shine itself is bad enough, being a soft-timed, instant-death red coin hunt using lily pads that the player has to steer to navigate over instant-death kill water. But the method of actually getting to this level is what earns it its spot. Without using exploits, this shine can take upwards of 10 minutes at minimum to reach just for one singular attempt. It requires you to get a Yoshi, ride him across multiple slow-moving and very glitchy boats so that he doesn't melt in the water, make a suicide jump for some bananas along the way so that he doesn't run out of juice, and then make a dive for the island that the pipe containing the shine is on, all for the chance of one attempt at this shine. But it's okay, there's a pipe at the end of the shine that you can use to replay it if you fail, right? Right?